Good evening and welcome to the Friday edition of Sports Night. I'm Anne-Marie Burke. Well, Barbados Traders are already ahead of their home stretch of the Caribbean Premier League, which starts tomorrow. Traders won 2 of their 3 away fixtures and will now play 5 home games at the Kensington Oval. Speaking at the media conference held at the Hilton Hotel today, Trident skipper Jason Holder says his team is riding on a high ahead of their first game against St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots.
It's obviously given us some momentum. You know, we expected a tight contest against the Talawads. We had 3 away games to start the competition, and I think at the beginning of the tournament it just stressed on us trying to gather some momentum on the road, you know, coming back into Barbados for our home leg. Yeah, it was a tight game. Arguably we didn't play our best cricket, you know, but we came up with a good result, you know, so that says a lot about the squad, the depth of the squad and the belief in the squad. So I think the mood in the camp is pretty good, so hopefully we can, you know, take that momentum that we have now and run with it here in Barbados.
Trident's head coach Robin Singh says changes to the squad will be made only if needed.
We probably will play the best team that we think is suited against the opponent. So it's as simple as that. I mean, if you're winning, you like to continue and with the flow. Obviously, T20, you have to have a little bit of flexibility. A lot of guys have played cricket and they understand that, you know, according to the needs of the team, we will actually fulfill those requirements. So if a guy we think is good enough to play on the day, even if he is done well in a previous game, he might have to sit out.
Patriots head coach Donovan Miller is hopeful their star opener Evan Lewis can finally fire tomorrow after a disappointing start to the tournament.
We're definitely not concerned about Evan's form. He's worked really hard in the nets. He's been training and hitting the ball nicely. The last couple of dismissals he was unlucky, and you see a little bit of glimpse down in St. Lucia when you get a couple of boundaries going. So he's very confident, he's in good mood, and it's only a matter of time before you see a big score from him, and hopefully that can happen tomorrow.
Also ready for tomorrow are Shea Hope, Martin Guptill and Hashim Amla. Hope, who is in good form with an average of 52 from his 3 games, says he will be backing his ability to continue putting runs on the scoreboard.
Just to try to keep the momentum going. I think that the guys started pretty well. We lost 1 game, but it's still good to have 2 out of the 3 games in other territories. So just for us to continue that good cricket we've been playing and try to get as many wins as possible at home. I will always say that cricket is cricket. As long as you follow the basics and trust yourself, trust your ability, that no matter what format you play or what situation you put in, then you just got to be able to execute. And I believe in myself that I can execute.
Guptill is yet to fire with the bat for the Tridents, but hopes his luck turns around at Kensington Oval, which is known for producing good batting pitches.
I guess it's going to suit our batting lineup a bit. You know, we've got guys that have grown up playing in Australia, South Africa, you know, myself from New Zealand, and obviously they've got a lot of Asian guys in the side who grew up playing at Kensington Oval. So there should be a lot of a lot of belief in the side that we can go out and just go out and play freely and just go out and have some fun out there. I mean, you know, the wicket should suit our style of play, and hopefully we can put some big scores on the board and then restrict the other teams as best we can.
South African Amla, who is also due a big score, says the key to winning the upcoming games at the Oval is for the top order batsmen to get off to a good start.
Yeah, the Kensington pitch has always been a really good wicket, but a pace and a bounce, somewhat different from some of the other wickets that we get in the Caribbean. And it's, you know, if you get in, you can score well. One of the things is the wind factor at the ground. Is usually quite a strong wind coming from left to right. So all those type of things you take into consideration. And as I said, if we get a good start up front, we can put some pressure and get some big runs.
The Tridents Patriots match is set for 4 p.m. tomorrow, while tonight the Stars and Amazon Warriors will begin their duel at 9 p.m. in St. Lucia. Live coverage is on CBC TV 8. Now, there was a big upset for the number 4 seed, while the number 5 seed eased into the round of 16 in last night's fixtures of the 2018 Monarchs of the Court. Playing at the arena on Spring Garden, number 4 seed Darius Gaskin was defeated by Junior Allen in straight sets 21-19, 21-17, while number 5 Curtis Jones beat Adrian Skeet. Meanwhile, in the other fixture last night, Victor Earth Ward came from a set down to get over Ryan Hall in 3 sets, winning 16-21, 21-16, 21-19, while Ezekiel Ward conquered Adrian Scott also in 3 sets. CBC's Akeem Klinkett reports on 2 of the matchups from last night.
We begin with the second game of the night. Ezekiel Ward in the near court versus Adrian Scott. Couple of backhand shots, feeling out the game, but Scott puts too much and his reply is long. Ward on the attack again, looking to work the angles and find an opening. But Scott is up to the task, keeping it in play. But Ward is persistent, Scott giving in on this point, going long. Scott wasn't surrendering the set before the fight. This shot is too hot for Ward and he loses his footing. But Ward will still take the first set 21-13 as Scott is off target again. Second set, Ward was hoping for an early night, but Scott was looking to bring things back on level terms, smashing for the point. Ward a bit too fancy at times and being his own downfall, attempting the cross-court smash, but he misses the mark. Then Scott takes control, maneuvering the ball around the court. Ward can't get his footwork in order and his reply is short. Scott extended the game to a third set by winning 21-17. Deception into the right side of the court. Ward has too much on his reply. On to the third, and Ward was back in business. Simplicity this time was the undoing of Scott, who made the unforced error. So Ward switching up the angles, looking for an opening. Scott is up to the task for the most part with balanced footwork, but he's not consistent with replies, which was a problem. Still, Scott had no plans of waving his white flag, fighting for the win. Cross-court push, Ward into the net. This was a game of unforced errors, and Ward didn't make as many as Scott, taking the third 21-19 and the game 2-1. Next up, Curtis Jones, the number 5 seed in the forecourt versus Adrian Skeet, and Jones got straight to work. Backhand shot, Skeet left wanting. Skeet decided to go on the attack, some powerful shots. Jones tried counter-attacking, but puts too much on it. Skeet gets the point. Skeet was on a mission, looking for an upset on the night, going to work again. This forceful push leaves Jones without an answer. Skeet capitalizing on anything loose, into the court with the smash for another point. Jones is a seasoned campaigner, so he wasn't seeing anything new. He lines up the shot and goes down the line like a bullet. Jones fighting his way back to win the first by 6, 21-15. Jones picked up where he left off in the first, taking Skeet to the classroom and showing him how it's done. Jones, like a shark who smells blood in the water, pounces on Skeet. Skeet reply is long on this occasion. Skeet has some tricks of his own though, showing Jones he's here to play. The smash is good enough for the point. There, however, wasn't enough shots like that, and Jones takes the second 21-17 and the game 2-0. Akeem Klinkett, CBC Sport.
Lady Cougars pulled off a 12-point victory over Lady Tridents when the two sides met at the BCC gym in the latest fixture of the number 1 Beauty Supplies and Exchange BABA Women's League yesterday. CBC's Kamal Haynes reports.
Cougars in the black get things going off their first shot. Jennifer Joseph Hackett makes it look easy. Tridents responded immediately. Captain Towellard drives through the defense and converts off the backboard. Cougars answered back. Skipper Tony Atherley took matters into her hands and drilled it from behind the arc. It was a tug-of-war situation in the early part of the first quarter, with both teams exchanging basket for basket. But Cougars started to pull away to lead by 9 at the end of the first quarter, 26-15. On to the second quarter, and Trident's Ariane Fields had the luck riding with her to reduce the deficit by 2. Rebecca Simpson followed up, jump shot inside the arc, long 2. After Tridents got their deficit down to 2, Cougars regrouped and started to rebuild their lead. Hackett gets 2 of her 16 points. They entered the half with a lead of 20, 46-26. Atherley, who had a game-high 18 points, lands the J. Skip to the final quarter. Cougars still well in front, and Tracy Gill adds 2 more. They would go on to take the game 62-50 to defeat Lady Tridents by 12 points. Kamal Haynes, CBC Sports.
World-renowned international surfer and beach culture advocate Brian Talma has embarked on sharing his life story by writing his autobiography. He's known as the Action Man, the man who's taken Barbados beach culture to the world. And Brian Talma is about to share himself in a different way as he launches his autobiography, The Last of the Bronze Class.
Last year, all the windsurf, kitesurf I did. My legacy, you know, they plotted, Brian, you did this, did that. They told a good story, but with every good story, there's a challenge. And that's why I want to tell the people of the world and Barbados, nothing is given to you, and you have to fight for what you want. And that's why I came with the idea that there's nothing more to do. There's nothing more to prove. Now, it's to tell the true story of where Brian Talma came from.
The first 3 chapters have been completed and speaks to Brian's family life, issues of race, struggles, triumphs, and the journey to being where he is today.
So the first chapter is the beginning of the bronze class, and it goes back to my great-great-grandfather, who was a white plantation owner, and my great-grandmother, and she was Mrs. Niles. And they got together and they had children, and he had a lot of children. But the beginning was, he was white and he had a lot of black women from the neighborhood. I did my research there, and he had another fellow in the north, and that the other ward from Mount Gay. So that's where it all came about, and that's where my father came. And my father was originally from Oistins, and then the chapter begins about Oistins and Sir Harold St. John and how they came together and brought where Oistins was or is today, and that's the heart of the first chapter. And then it goes in the second chapter. The second chapter is when we were rebels, because we were not really accepted into this society. Back in the day, that was during Rastafarism and all this. The sea is bad for you, and bad connotation, and it speaks about having to navigate through those challenging times. And then the third chapter, which we have part of the series, talks about where I go to school in Barbados, a large school, sucking cane and having fun and just free living. And then when I went abroad to the Gow School in Eckerd College, where my worldview changed a lot.
As an artist, Talma has taken to using his artwork as a means of symbolism within the book. Most interestingly is a visual representation he has created on a hut at his Action Surf Shop in Silver Sands, as an expression of the 3 chapters completed.
When you see Brian Talma, I'm digging down into my ancestors, and I get inspirations from my past.
He's also used the chapters to create a teaser magazine and is currently in Europe before heading to the US to promote the book. He admits it was not smooth sailing to get here.
This process was very difficult, because you remember, if you really talking, some people may not like what you say. So what I have to do is true. It's all from the heart and as accurate as I can remember.
Talma intends to have the book completed by November. It's time for Sports Night's Plays of the Week.
Rolling in at 5 this week, Monarchs of the Court Road Tennis Tournament. Shaquem Nurse finishes the game with Flair versus Corey Mears.
Shaquem Nurse doing it in 2 straight over Corey Mears. Round of applause, strikes a pose for the fans. 21-8, 21-6.
Smashing his way to 4, CPL action. Patriots versus the Stars. Brandon King stands and delivers for the Patriots, hitting Mitchell McCalligan for 6.
Here is the Digicel highlights bundle. Started like that.
Bouncing in at 3, Summer Jam action. Adrian Yard of Northside Bowlers with the assist to Naeem Hines versus Mystics.
Adrian Yard providing the bounce pass to Naeem Hines, who scores his only points of the game.
Punching his way to number 2, Shimron Hepmar of the Guyana Amazon Warriors fires on all cylinders versus the Jamaica Talawas, scoring his maiden CPL century of just 47 deliveries.
And that will help. That is magnificent.
Century. A century for the 21-year-old Shimron Hetmeyer from Guyana. And this has been a fabulous innings.
And rising his way to the top this week, Kishmar Primus of the Barbados Tridents with the save versus the Reggae Boys in an international friendly.
And Jamaica will be awarded a penalty as Tariq Highland brings down a player in the box. But as Fabian McCarthy steps up, Barbados custodian Kishmar Primus was up to the task and provided the big right hand to deny them the goal. That's defense for you.
That's all for this week. We'll be back next week with more of Sports Nights Top 5 Plays.
It's going to be an action-packed weekend, and here's what's going on tomorrow, that should be August the 25th. Now, there will be 8 finals tomorrow in the 33rd Barbados International Hockey Festival on the Sand Field in Wilde, starting at 9 a.m. The America's Cup World Qualifier continues at the Wilde Gym from 2 p.m. That's netball, with Barbados taking on Canada at 8 p.m. in the final game of the quadruple header. Also from 2 p.m. will be the Barbados Thoroughbred Breeders Association race day at the Garrison Savannah, featuring the Francis Cozier Memorial Sprint Stakes and Trophy. The Barbados leg of the CPL starts at Kensington Oval with a 4 p.m. fixture between the Tridents and the Patriots, live MCTV pay-per-view. Then over in St. Lucia, it will be Stars versus Tallawahs at 8 p.m. live on TV8. There is a triple header of games in the BABA Summer Jam at Culloden Road that starts from 5 p.m. And in road tennis, the Monarchs of the Court continues at the arena on Spring Garden from 7 p.m. The weekend is upon us. Check us tomorrow for more sports during the evening news. I'm Anne-Marie Burke. Good night.